We are going live. Yo, what's going on, guys? A little impromptu type of, I guess you would say. I'm on the drive right now. We're waiting for Luke to hop in, if he even is going to hop in. But we got a lot to talk about today. Jackson, what are your thoughts of LeBron James potentially retiring after getting blocked on the game-tying baskets as the Denver Nuggets advance to the end?
Sorry, some shit just happened.
What happened?
Golf ball just got suspended.
For what?
I don't know.
On Instagram?
Yeah.
So what do you have to do? First time it happened?
What was that?
Was that the first time it's ever happened?
Yeah.
So you have to like contact Instagram and shit?
I don't know.
Because I know usually if you get suspended, if it's bullshit, because like if someone reported you just have to contact IG support and just be like,
I'm hoping Luke hops on here. I gotta deal with this.
yeah, let me.
Damn. It's like.
That's fucked. Yeah, no, completely understand that. Let me give Luke a holler.
What's up, Chris? And LeBron didn't even win a game.
And LeBron couldn't even win a game.
Golf ball just got suspended.
For how long?
Ever.
That's what. So,
see, can you see what happens when you type it in, Nick? It should be gone.
It popped up. It popped up and it goes user not found.
Yeah.
That's fucked. If you want to hop off, Jackson,
yeah, I'm
figure
gonna
that
go
shit out.
Contact some people here.
Yeah, no, completely understand that. Go deal that. That's like your priority.
All right,
we'll talk to you later. T's and P's. Let us know. Nick, thank you for hopping on. How bad does it sound?
It sounds pretty bad.
Scale 1 to 10.
I'm gonna go an 8 because
like bad
this isn't
or good.
Bad. This isn't the first time it's been suspended. He's gotten a lot of flags on it. So,
what is it, like just people reporting?
It could be people reporting. It also could be copyright of posting like PGA clips. The PGA Tour is really bad and really, really like will shut down accounts because of that.
That's so gay.
Yeah, I'm not completely sure. I remember he told us on Sunday that the account got a violation. It was shut down, and then now today getting like the suspension notice is not good. I don't know. It's very scary.
Yeah, no, completely. Hopefully you can figure it out, because I know like a lot of accounts that end up getting suspended for things like that, if you contact support and with the size of his channel, they'll just like tell him what not to do.
Yeah, hopefully. I mean, I think like the main thing is just contacting Instagram directly, and I know how difficult it is, but
Yeah, but he has like 600,000 followers.
Yeah.
So like they should be willing.
You
to
would
like,
hope, right?
Yeah, because he's technically like influential on their platform.
Mm-hmm.
Though,
No.
LeBron James retiring?
I'm gonna say no, as much as like I think this is just LeBron being LeBron and being like wanting the attention to be around him, because it makes for more of a narrative. But also, I don't know, maybe he will. It is year 20, so it's kind of to the point where it makes sense for LeBron to retire.
For me, my girlfriend made me laugh because we were just talking before we went live here. And she was like, LeBron just looked like a pompous ass when he like stomped on the court off. And like I love LeBron, but I'm not a dick writer. But I understand like the frustration if you're not a casual fan, or if you're just seeing like LeBron being so upset. But as someone who's watching this season, like the turnaround, it's just an upsetting end.
Yeah, started with having problems with a Russell, and it ended with problems with a Russell. It's just it wasn't the season you wanted to see, and the hope that they showed in the playoffs. I think it got the entire team probably thinking that they could win an NBA title, and maybe LeBron's thinking this was his chance to get one more. But
no, it's sad for him, and for him to be considering retirement, because it's like he's still top, better than 90%, 95% of the league, like he said, but he needs another superstar there because he can't do it for 48 minutes anymore. He either has to go off in the first half, build a huge lead, and then coast the rest of the game, or coast the first half and then take the, go off in the fourth.
Literally. Yeah, what did he had 31 points at half last night? Was it? Like LeBron is LeBron. He's one of the greatest of all time, if not the greatest. Year 20. To not win a game is tough. To get swept by the Nuggets, and this to be the first sweep of the Nuggets franchise is just not how you wanted this playoffs to end. Worst possible ending.
No, I completely agree. It's the worst possible end. We thought at least when I watched this at the end of the first half, I was like, they're going to win.
Yeah. Easily. Going into the half, I'm like, okay, like, yeah, this is a Lakers win, like, feeling good. And then it got closer and closer, and then I gave up all hope. It felt like they kind of gave up in that, like, middle of the third quarter.
Yeah, Tristan Thompson almost saved the game. The Jokic stopper.
The Jokic. Maybe they should have played Tristan sooner. I don't know. That could have been Darvin Ham. Maybe he should be fired.
Oh my God!
Get the
another
tapes
one.
Out.
All right, let's honestly. Denver Nuggets. They're the favorites, right?
Yeah. But
what?
Are you saying favorite, like the favorites just going in, or favorites
going
now?
Like, I honestly want Jimmy. Like, I've said it all year. Nuggets are underappreciated, underrated, but at the same time, like, I want Jokic to win it, but I feel like Jokic will have more opportunities. But if they're probably going to be placing Jimmy Butler in the Heat, it's just such a good story if Jimmy Butler wins it.
Agreed, especially over the MVP and that number one seeded Nuggets. Oh, that'd be sweet. That'd be so sweet.
It'd be the greatest postseason run of all time.
Agreed. And Jimmy Butler would have to be, top. For what he's done in his career as well is just unbelievable, for like not necessarily having the help around him all the time, leading them to the NBA Finals in the bubble, the playoffs the last couple of years. Like, Jimmy Butler is that dude. I want to see him get to a finals and beat Jokic. That'd be awesome.
The other thing is like, shout out the Nuggets, who the last time they were healthy, they were in the Western Conference Finals. Then Jamal Murray blows out his knee. Then Michael Porter Jr. with the back. I just cut out, but when they were finally healthy again, they were able to make it to the finals. And Bruce Brown, Contavious Caldwell-Pope, Aaron Gordon deserve as much credit as Michael Porter Jr., Jamal Murray, and Nikola Jokic.
Yeah, agreed. They all stepped up. This Nuggets team played some incredible basketball. I mean, that first game was a perfect basketball game from the Nuggets, in my opinion. They played super well. And they didn't take the foot off the gas the entire series. So props to them. And it's going to be an awesome finals. It sucks that we're probably going to have to wait like 9 days for basketball, which is hilarious.
Yeah, are they going to, so if the Heat win tonight, do we just wait a week?
Yes,
So
we wait 8 or 9 days. I think it's 8 or 9 days.
Because they have scheduled to start.
Yeah, I think it starts June 2nd or 3rd is when the NBA finals start. So they don't start till that date, which is hilarious. Because now it's going to be like who's going to get the most rust. Like 8 days off, like that's a lot not playing in a competitive basketball game, especially after playing 81 games in the regular season and then going through these playoffs.
Well, the Miami Heat will probably benefit the most because their guys they have more injuries.
Yeah, and you're going to get Tyler. I don't know recent reports about Tyler Hero, but he should be back by then, right? Like, or close to it?
Well, there was a report yesterday by Zach Lowe that we talked about on the show. There's a clip that there's speculation that the Heat are better without Tyler Hero because now they can play with 4 to 5 two-way guys on the floor who aren't getting mismatched on instead of having Tyler Hero out there where you have a guy getting hunted for a mismatch. So now there's no mismatches to be hunted.
That is very interesting. That makes a lot of sense. Would you not, like, if Tyler Hero is ready to go, do you not play him?
No, you play him. You start him off 10, 12 minutes a night, like off the bench, just when you need offense, whenever Jimmy or somebody sits, and you throw him in there and you just let him build his confidence off. If he plays good, you slowly increase the minutes. If he plays like shit, you don't have to play him then. And you just tell him to just rehab.
Yeah. I actually like Tyler Hero a lot off the bench. Like, I think, especially in a final setting, would be really cool to bring in offense. And
but are you fine
Miami
pushing somebody? Somebody might get pushed out the rotation then. And are you really trying to take Duncan or Kyle Lowry or somebody out the rotation?
No. Great point. Wow, the Heat are going to have a problem going forward. They're going to have to game plan this and think about it.
It's a good problem.
Yeah. That is a great problem to have. And who would have thought this is a problem the Heat would have going into this playoffs?
And you look at the situation, and this is a team that you think at like first glance that they should be, it's the Jimmy Butler and the undraftables. They shouldn't be here to begin with, arguably.
No, there's no reason the Heat should be in here at all. Like, they almost lost to the Bulls in that play-in game. But they have. I mean, this team is just, they're good. They work together. They're so cohesive.
For me, the big thing is Eric Spoelstra. And I think the coaching will be the big thing here. And as well as, I mean, obviously there's no way of stopping Jokic, but Bam Adebayo is a great guy to be guarding Jokic. And then you think about Michael Porter Jr., probably against Jimmy Butler, Aaron Gordon against like Caleb Martin and Kevin Love, Jamal Murray versus like Gabe Vincent and Kyle Lowry. It's going to be the role players for both teams that are going to have to win this.
Yeah. I think this series will come down to how, and the playoffs have come down this way a lot, but how these coaches make adjustments. Will Mike Malone? I think it's going to be a Mike Malone, Eric Spoelstra battle. Kind of what coaches can do the most to change your team. And then you also have Jokic. Jokic will transform the game. But.
Yeah, Jokic, Jamal Murray. Jamal Murray's like clutch performances. And then, but Gabe Vincent's touching God. Okay, like
he is. He's on one right now. Like, what's that guy eating? What's that guy drinking right now?
And Kyle Lowry's giving them every dollar of that contract right now.
He's making Kyle Lowry deserves every dollar. And that Heat team is just playing out of their fucking mind, and I can't wait to see them tonight. I really hope they sweep the Celtics because I think you can just go with the Joe Mazzulla. Like, Joe Mazzulla's never been more of a coach that's fired. He's gone. Like, there's just no way you keep that guy.
That's a great segue, though. So, a report came out from Wojnarowski's today, this morning, saying that the Celtics never got over the firing of Ime Udoka, because they believed it was an overreaction, not only the players, but some people within it, and they thought it should have just been handled through HR. But I mean, that's what you get for fucking your boss's wife. If you fuck somebody, assistant coach's wife, you still be there.
You just you gotta choose the wives you fuck very carefully. Yeah, like I think retrospectively, like a year later, they are just. I don't think they make the same decision. I think they really would be like, okay, fine, we'll keep Ndoku, because that makes a lot of sense. This team just doesn't seem like they trust each other. They don't trust each other as players. They don't trust their coach. It's just like you got this talented roster. You've done nothing but kind of like improved it and then changed the coach, and they looked good throughout the season till like March, and then what do you do? What do you do next year? Do you trade Jaylen Brown? I
think look at the Denver Nuggets. They never changed the core throughout the injuries and everything, but you got to change the role players. Grant Williams gone. Al Horford. I think Robert Williams is fine, but you need another big to pair with him. You probably want a combo forward, or you need guys like Contavious Caldwell-Pope, Bruce Brown. All right, you need the Max Struses of the world. The guys. Even if they're just a three-point shooter, they try their ass off on defense, or they're two-way players. The Aaron Gordons. They need to look at like PJ Washington. Guys like that. Maybe get a backup big like Mason Plumlee, and then you have Robert Williams, Mason Plumlee. They need a guy like Josh Hart or Dante DiVincenzo, like a backup. Like wing combo guard who can play multiple positions. Can also I think one of Brogdon, Smart, or White needs to leave. You got to keep the core, decide who's your 3 or 4 guys, and then now try to upgrade around them.
Yeah, I like that. And then the biggest change is, hire Nick Nurse to make, and that will pay dividends for that team. But yeah, I think role players, the team needs to change up. Like they need a little bit of a new identity. I saw I don't know if it was Twitter, but Jaylen Brown, like people were thinking there was a Jaylen Brown burner account. Oh, yeah, here. Man, the Celtics need to trade Jaylen Brown, man. He's so disrespected by the fans in the organization. He doesn't want to be in Boston. Trade him to his hometown, Atlanta, ASAP. He deserves to be a top dog. Portland could work too. There's just a bunch of these Celtics, like Jaylen Brown. The city of Boston doesn't deserve a player like JB, all coming from this account.
No, but on a real note, Jaylen Brown is either going to be a Houston Rockets or an Atlanta Hawks. He's from Atlanta. I don't think money is like a huge thing for him. Like, he'll probably sign the extension the Celtics give him, and then he'll just ask for a trade.
Yeah.
But
and then the Celtics get a bunch of picks.
no, exactly. I don't think they'll do that. But if you were, that's how it would go out. But like, I think the Nuggets thing, just continuity. And think about it. Jokic is like 28, Jamal's 27, 26. What, Jaylen Brown, Jason Tatum's 25, 26? They technically haven't entered their prime.
Very true. But I think a lot will come out after game 4 or whenever this series ends with the Celtics, because there just seems like there's more going on under the screen. Like, I don't know. Maybe Jaylen Brown does have some issues because, like, there's something fishy. There's something going on in Boston.
I think the reason we're hearing why Mazzulla might be fired, he lost the locker room. That's the only reason you would fire him, is because he lost the locker room. Not only the locker rooms in turn of the players, but faith from the organization that he's the guy. Think about it. Ime Udoka was a guy who was an undrafted player, played at like Portland State, won multiple championships, I think, with the Spurs, and he had played like every like position, starter, backup, reserve. He was an assistant coach with like 5 different teams before becoming head coach. Joe Mazzulla never played professionally. He played for WVU and went on to like the Final Four. But besides that, and I'm pretty sure he was only an assistant coach with the Celtics. So he's inexperienced compared to Udoka in his first year.
You know what's funny? He lost to Jimmy Butler. Smart cat tune, which is so like that's tough to lose to him in the NBA in the Eastern Conference Finals.
It just brings up it opens up a whole can of worms, and it makes you think that, hey, would it be good or bad firing Joe Mazzulla? If it's, as like you said, is there's more fishy thing and like things beneath the surface that we don't know, then yes, it makes sense. But if you're just firing a coach to fire a coach because you underachieved, it's not smart.
Yeah, completely agree. There has to be something going on. And it sounds like from a lot of the reports there is, and we'll find out soon. Like, I just think no possible way can you go into next season if you get swept by the 8th seed in the Eastern Conference Finals after going to the NBA Finals the following year. I feel like you just got to fire the head coach. Just get rid of him at that point. Even if it's not for underperforming, just swept by an 8 seed.
Yeah. And it's a weird season because the amount of championship caliber coaches available is more than usual. There's like 3 or 4 coaches who have a ring or at least made it to a championship. Monty Williams, Mike Budenholzer, Nick Nurse, Frank Vogel.
Doc Rivers, bring him back.
Doc Rivers is another one. Then you got assistants like Kenny Atkinson, Chris Quinn, Adrian Griffin. Like, there's guys out there.
It's a very flooded coaching market, so it makes sense, right? Like,
yeah. I wonder, because also the other thing is like, we're not going to sit here and be like, this is the most star-studded free agency class.
Nope.
Okay, I think James Harden and Fred VanVleet are like the top 2 guys. Chris Middleton, maybe the 3rd. James Harden's going to Houston or staying in Philadelphia. So it's just sit there and you're like, free agents are worth it. And then the players that are tradable, seems like Damian Lillard's staying. Do you want DeAndre Ayton? Zach LaVine? DeMar DeRozan?
DeRozan could fit somewhere.
Pascal Siakam?
I'd like Siakam.
Which I feel like certain of those guys, they're only valuable for the right fit.
Exactly. They're not team, like, none of those guys are players that every team would want. Like,
yeah, or Draymond Green. Like, a lot of teams would like them, but you'd have to have the roster in place.
Exactly. Really weird. A very unique year that the free agents coaching market is way better than the free agent player market. So teams are going to have to get creative this year.
Well, we kind of just mentioned one guy, DeAndre Ayton. It was reported first that the Mavericks' interest in him was overstated. Now it's being saying his most likely landing spot is Dallas. And I'm assuming Tim Hardaway, Davis Bertans, and like JaVale McGee would be, and the 10th pick would be the package. I assume that the Suns would be like, we'll take JaVale. I don't even know if they'll take JaVale, but they said maybe they'll take Tim, and then they'll you're gonna have to reroute Davis and JaVale to another team that will give us the assets that we rather have, either cap space by sending them just picks, or actual players that could use, like maybe Orlando. But I doubt Orlando would do that because Orlando's trying to do the next step. So you got to find a team that'll be willing to take on about $23 million between JaVale McGee and Davis Bertans.
What's a team that could do that? Pistons, probably.
But they're trying to make the jump too, Orlando. Houston's also trying to make the jump. San Antonio's probably also trying to make.
Pacers are trying to make the jump too now. Remember they.
So what team's rebuilding?
I don't know. I'm trying to think off the top of my head. I think everyone's in a win now mode in the NBA now.
Yeah, it becomes hard to think about who's tanking. Who's going to be the worst team next year?
The Bulls.
I mean,
I'm kidding.
I don't even know how the Bulls go. Who they're trading their guys to.
Yeah, I don't know if the Bulls are in such a weird scenario of they have the least tradable NBA stars, I feel in the league.
They're better than anybody they can get.
Yeah.
But they can't trade them for a rebuild because no one's gonna give them.
No, you're not gonna. No, nobody's gonna trade multiple first round picks for Zach LaVine or maybe he'll get. I don't know. But
you might get one pick for each of DeMar and LaVine in terms of unprotected, rest be second and salary matching contracts.
Yeah, it's just nothing. They got fucked by Lonzo. Lonzo fucked them. He had to get injured, and he fucked that entire team.
Well, if they went to rebuild, you'd assume that they would trade everyone except Lonzo, hope Lonzo heals up, and he would be the leader of the new youth generation if they were to do that. But it doesn't seem like they're doing that.
No, I think
they're going to resign.
I think they kind of lost hope with him, or not lost hope, but
faith.
Yeah.
Now, I can't even think of another rebuilding team.
Yeah, I'm actually struggling because I feel like all these teams
Raptors
win
maybe
now. Yeah, Scotty Barnes, right? Portland could suck.
But they want to build around Dame.
Yeah.
And the Wizards trying to build around Beal, and they're bringing back Kristoff and Kyle Kuzma.
Hornets, Miles Bridges.
They're bringing back Miles Bridges, and they basically took this as their one gap year because of all the injuries.
And let's Scoot, so.
And now that they have the second pick, they could either draft Scoot.
We're missing the biggest one. It's going to be the Rockets. I will tell you this: Jalen Green is worse than a pile of trash. I do not want that guy. He's not going to be an NBA star. Tell that to Jackson. He's he just likes to dribble and shoot and make plays, but
You're a non-believer.
I'm a non-believer in Jalen Green. I've never been a believer in Jalen Green. And then I
I'm
saw
not-
a TikTok this morning, and he was like, I really thought the Pistons were going to draft me. And I'm like, so you're just stupid. Not only are you just trash at basketball, but you're stupid. You thought the Pistons were going to take you over Cade Cunningham? That was decided.
Have you seen Cade?
Yeah. Yeah.
He looks like 20 pounds heavier. Jacked. People also forget how good Cade Cunningham is. I saw him in college, like when he played at KU. It was during COVID, so I got really good seats because they like only let in X amount of fans, and it was people who bought the regular season tickets before they stopped letting people buy them. So like, I was like, you walk in, we would show up late, and we get like half court seats. Because like they had to do socially distancing, so there was no student section. So I got to watch Cade Cunningham from like 50 feet away, midcourt.
That's so sick. Cade Cunningham. I remember when he was at Oklahoma State. I was like, this guy, number one pick on Oklahoma State. Watched like one of his games. I think it was against Baylor, and he was so smooth with it. He is so smooth with it. I think Cyro. Oh, he's back.
No, I'm here.
Oh, good. Yeah, he's clean.
The crazy thing is unlike, Doncic could play the wing, but he's not suited for it because of his athleticism. Cade's a bit more athletic, where he can legitimately play 1, 2, 3.
Yeah. Cade's just a basketball player. It sucks that he's been injured.
I hope we see Kelly Hayes, Jaden Ivey, Cade Cunningham, like Beef Stew and Jalen Duren lineup next year.
I like that a lot. I like the Pistons, man. I was kind of big on the Pistons last year, or not big, but I thought they would. I was predicting that the Bulls would finish 3rd or 4th behind. I thought they might even finish last in that Central Division last year. I think I like the Jaden Ivey, Cade Cunningham lineup. Like I'm a big believer in both those players, and I think them on the court together will be a very good duo.
I think it'll also be interesting. They're either going to take Jarris Walker, because they don't have a pure power forward besides like Isaiah Stewart, who's more of like a small ball big. But Jarris would be like the perfect power forward with them. I had someone comment saying that Troy Weaver's interested in a wing. So I think it's going to come down to one of the Thompson twins, Kim Whitmore, if he's still there, or Jarris Walker. And they'll probably either take who they assume is the best player available. I just don't see them taking a guard. And like, I was telling them, a source told me at the Combine, who had spoken directly with one of the overtime elite coaches, and he said he doesn't believe that Amen Thompson will be able to be a point guard in the NBA, and to be successful in the NBA, he'll have to play the wing, like his brother.
Really?
Yeah. So,
wow,
if they draft Amen, if he falls there, it's not bad.
No, and stuff like that would make a guy fall.
I think the Pistons and Magic, which were the teams we took last year to like be surprise playing teams, I will redo as my surprise playing team this year.
Kind of agree with that. Like those are two teams, especially what they do in the.
They're not even surprised anymore.
No.
It's like expected.
I guess the Pistons could be.
Pistons a little bit, but Pacers are another team that's trying to make it some. And like, it just goes back to the whole thing of like teams trying to make it. Like if we switch over to Kyrie Irving, there's allegedly a report that the handshake agreement, like before the trade happened, they agreed to offer Kyrie a max contract. But then we're also hearing that Kyrie still possibly could go to LA. At this mind, I think he's staying Dallas. Nico Harrison is boys from Nike because he was the CEO of Nike when they signed Kyrie. And then there's no income tax in Texas. Mark Cuban seems like a really cool owner to work for. And I think like he would get more touches and like he wouldn't be in the media as much in Dallas as he would be in LA. And he seems like he just kind of wants to be off the grid low key.
I think Dallas is the perfect place for Kyrie Irving. I don't think he needs to move around more. Get Kyrie a nice house in Fort Worth, Texas, near nobody. Maybe like just an island reserve for himself, so he doesn't have to talk to any media members or human beings.
He's probably more of an Austin guy.
Yeah.
Either he's one of those super liberal guys, or he's like surprisingly conservative with weird ass woke thoughts.
He might just have the most unbelievable political takes in the world. Like he might just be on every side that like he just doesn't fit in a political sphere.
He hates Joe Biden, but supports Bernie Sanders and Trump.
Exactly. Yeah, he loves the extremists. He's big into just being extreme and supporting what you love.
Supporting what you love. He's like, I think Bernie's got some good stuff, but Trump says it how it is.
Exactly.
That's right.
We need to lock them up and pay for all their health care.
Exactly. But no, I think Dallas, I mean, DeAndre Ayton, not a bad pickup. I'm not one of those people who think, like, I do agree that DeAndre Ayton was supposed to be like the light version of what Joel Embiid is now. Like, you know, he was supposed to be in like the maybe not good, but like an all NBA, like, you know, a top 5 center. But I'm not under the belief that he's plateaued or stagnated in terms of he's reached his potential. I think he's stagnated as he was put in a box systematically with the Suns, and that if he goes to an organization, maybe like Dallas, where Luka and Kyrie actually use him, he could be like a 2015 guy, and maybe even step out the 3-point range. His touch inside's amazing.
Yeah, I think it is a situation that Dallas could be. He could be one of those guys that does really well in a new situation because it lets him, like a Lauri Markkanen, right? Who struggled with the Cavs a little bit, but then played better, and then gets to the Jazz and just goes off. Like, I think also with bigs, it really with bigs, they have to go to the right situation, and the Suns just, I don't know, seem kind of, he's just never fit there. Like, he's always been in trade talks, or like it's either they just can't decide if they want him.
They've always run center by committee.
Yeah.
Now we got some breaking news. Houston Rockets are obviously targeting James Harden, and if they miss out on James Harden, they've said to go for Chris Middleton and Fred VanVleet as backup, the 2 backup options. But they get Chris Middleton, Fred VanVleet, or James Harden, they want to get complementary pieces, and 2 complementary pieces that they are looking at right now are Dillon Brooks and Austin Reeves, as they would be able to sign James Harden to the max and still give Dillon Brooks the contract he wants and the contract that Austin Reeves wants. But also going back to Dillon Brooks probably not going to get the contract he wants, but they could probably give him like $7 million on a 1-year deal with a player option to rebuild his value, and then you give Austin Reeves like a 4-year deal, and you bring in James Harden too.
Yeah.
And Chris Paul's also now been connected to the Rockets, as Ime Udoka wants a veteran point guard.
Wow, that'd be a quick rebuild for Houston, I think. Wow, that
James Harden, Chris Paul, running
James
back.
Harden, Chris Paul, yeah, you're back. You got Jalen Hardy out. You got Sengun. You got
I personally think
Jabari
if
Smith
Chris Paul
Jr.
came back, it's because James Harden doesn't come back. I don't think they would
Yeah.
bring them both back.
It
I
just
think they would-
doesn't. I don't
Yeah,
think they
it doesn't
both want to
seem
be in
like-
Houston feasible at the same time. No. Just
Yeah, I think if the Chris Paul rumors, it's like, let's say that James Harden stays in Philadelphia, they bring in Chris Middleton, Austin Reeves, and Dylan Brooks, and then they bring in Chris Paul, and they like trade away. I don't even know who's the highest salary on the current roster.
I have a hard time. Will the Lakers not be able to afford Reeves? Or
No, they can. They have his bird rights and stuff.
okay.
But there was a report yesterday that came out that he might get offered more than they would want to pay. With the Arenas bird right, it's like 12.2 annually for the first 2 years, so like 25 over the first 2 years, and then it would be 25 the last 2 years. So first 2 years are like 25 million, and then the last 2 years 50 plus million. So it's a 75 plus $1 million contract that's backloaded.
Okay.
So if I would do it. Learn from your mistake with Caruso.
Yeah, I think that's a guy you got to lock up.
But Reeves on the Rockets, if they do all these moves, everyone except maybe Jalen Green and Şengün is traded, or Şengün and Jabari Smith, or whoever the hell Ime Udoka decides is worth keeping.
It'll be interesting who he decides is worth keeping, because I feel like one of those kind of three guys might get pushed out depending on the moves that they do.
I think it's two guys. Either, like, I think the most untouchable personally, who has the highest potential, Şengün, and all you would have to do is trade or sign like Andre Drummond, or like trade for like Daniel Gaffer or like Nick Claxton to be like a defensive rebounding big. So like you could, in closing situation or defensive situations, you throw in Gafford or Claxton or Drummond. And then when to start the game in offense, when you have the lead and shit, you have Şengün being the secondary facilitator.
Yeah.
And then I think Jalen Green you can use to trade for somebody, like maybe trade Green for assets and then reroute those assets to the Suns.
Do you think? I really feel like the Rockets will try to keep Green, but I would love the.
Who's more of a win now player between Şengün? Out of these three guys, tell me the two most win now. If you're trying to win, you got James Harden and a bunch of other like free agents. Which two out of Jabari Smith, Şengün, and Jalen Green do you think could play winning basketball for you?
Throw Sengun in there. Like it's then you go between Green and Jabari Smith, and it's honestly I believe more in Jabari Smith.
Same.
If you watch him at Auburn, go back and look at him. He knows how to win. He knows how to win a basketball game too.
Was not getting set up at all in Houston for like how his game works, but I think Emmy will come in and be like, "Look, Jalen, I don't think you're going to play winning basketball unless he's like, you're going to be our sixth man and you have a green light, and that's going to be your role." But I think he'll look at Jabari Smith and Alperen Şengün and be like, "You're our two centers. Şengün, you're the offensive guy. Jabari Smith, you're a center / power forward who's a 3-and-D guy. You're a rim protector and then a floor spacer."
Agreed.
15, 20 minutes a night off the bench behind somebody, he could really help, and his game would I think, develop a lot better that way. Because I think the problem is we all thought he was a power forward coming out of college, like Rashard Lewis, but he's more like, I want to say in the same vein as, like, different play style, but like Chris Boucher, Mo Bamba,
Yeah.
Brook Lopez. 3-and-D rim protectors.
Yeah.
He's a big. He's not a forward.
Yeah. Completely agree. Very interesting. I like that. I think the Jalen Green sagas, if you want to win basketball games, I just don't think Jalen Green's the player for the next, you're not going to win in the next 2 years with him, as that piece. He could develop into that piece, possibly. I don't know. Maybe. I'm not the biggest fan.
I just think for him to work out, perfect situation in my mind. Let's say a sign and trade for Jeremy Grant. Nah, I think Jalen Green's worth more than Jeremy Grant. But let's say 2 years down the road, or I don't even freaking know, sign and trade for Damian Lillard, where you sign Jalen Green when his contract runs up to an extension. You send him to Portland, and you assume maybe they draft Scoot Henderson and they trade Anthony Simons, and they have a core of Shaedon Sharps, Scoot Henderson, and Jalen Green. I could buy into that. Or maybe if Spurs go, here's 2 first-round picks, Devontae Graham, Doug McDermott. Actually, 3 first-round picks, unprotected. Doug McDermott, Devontae Graham, for maybe a veteran they have on the roster for Jalen Green. So you get 3 veterans and 3 unprotected first.
Slam. Deal.
Then you have a core of Jalen Green, Devin Vassell, Keldon Johnson, Jeremy Sutherland, and Victor Wembanyama.
Yeah.
Not bad.
Why not? And if you're the Rockets, you get some picks. And
get
rid of Jalen Green.
You get some picks and you don't even have to keep the veterans. You can use Devontae Graham, Doug McDermott, and I guess the other veteran they have on the roster is Zach Collins. Maybe they keep Zach Collins and they reroute Doug McDermott and Devontae Graham with those picks for OG Anunoby, or looking around the league in my head, Gary Harris. I don't think Gary Harris has a big difference there, but OG Anunoby.
Yeah.
And you send those 3 first-round picks, Doug McDermott and Devontae, for OG Anunoby. Now you got yourself OG and Zach Collins as a backup big.
No, not bad at all. I think this free agency / this offseason is going to be interesting. I think teams get super creative because the free agency market is so bad, and we'll see a lot of. I think there'll be some weird trades going on, some weird fucking trades, where we look back and we're like, what?
No, complete, and because a lot of teams are trying, it's wide open. The NBA is wide open right now. We can't say that any team, besides the Nuggets, no team looks like a dynasty.
This is your shot.
And we don't even know if the Nuggets will win.
Yeah. I I love how we can just kind of close out the Heat's Celtics series. That series is done. But Jimmy Butler is a scary dude. And I fully believe that the Heat can pull up the upset and beat the Nuggets. They are fully capable.
In my mind, I think Jokic will have more swings and attempts and will go to the finals multiple times in his career. He's too good not to. That team's core of Michael Porter Jr., especially Michael Porter Jr. actually trying on defense now, and Jamal Murray, being one of the clutchest players in the league. I think that team as a core will get multiple shots to go finals. I think this is Jimmy Butler's one of his last times being the main guy on our team, being the number one option. And I think if he wins this championship, you might be able to say it's the greatest playoff run by not only a single player, but by an entire team, that they could write books, movies, make a documentary. It's like that NC State championship in the 80s.
They've,
You know what I'm talking about?
I do not.
It's
actually.
the NC State with like the guy with the hair, where they were like one of the few Cinderellas that actually won it all. I think they were like a 6 or 7 seed. There's like a whole like 30 for 30.
I'm gonna watch the 30 for 30 now.
Yeah, and then the guy got cancer later, or I don't even know. But like, this would be one of the greatest playoff runs. Like, even if you're not a Heat fan, like, even if you're a Nuggets fan, like, you couldn't be mad.
They've lost 3 games these playoffs as an 8 seed. 3 games.
Yeah.
That's nutty. You know.
What did Jimmy Butler say after the All-Star break? I don't try until after the All-Star break, and we just need to be in the playoffs.
He wasn't lying. He was not lying.
He said, he's like, the seed doesn't matter. We just need to be in the playoffs. And he didn't think anyone could beat him.
He's playing like that. I mean, that is the mindset you have to win in the NBA. And Jimmy's doing. He's getting in the zone. What he did to Grant Williams was getting in the zone.
Grant Williams is another guy who could go to Houston.
Yeah.
But no, like Jimmy Butler. And the other thing is like there's been games further we got into the playoffs. Jimmy Butler hasn't had to do these insane performances that he was having in the beginning of this playoffs. He started to like coach like his role players have now gone from feeling like they're hot to now they're feeling confident, knowing that they can do this on a regular basis because they've done it for double-digit games, double-digit wins. So it's not a fluke anymore. It's a status quo.
Yeah, he's exemplifying like what it means to be a leader. Like he's demonstrating what good basketball looks like. His teammates have played to it, picking it up. Like that is great team basketball that the Heat have. Eric Spoelstra's coaching, unbelievable. Like it I really think the NBA Finals will be decided by like a lot of minuscule things, small details that these coaches make, timeouts, because you're gonna like the Nuggets like to go on a lot of these like 8 like big runs, and I think Eric Spoelstra will do a lot to try to stop that, and the Heat like to go on their runs as well, but I really think we'll get a good NBA Finals, especially because both teams will be rested, which is nice.
Yeah, it'll be interesting. I think low-key, the Lakers exposed the lack of rim protection that the Nuggets don't have.
Wish they could have done that earlier.
Like the Heat coming into this Bam Adebayo and Jimmy Butler being insane at getting into the teeth of the defense. And then even, dude, like the commentators were making me laugh the other night where they're like, when they're blowing out the Celtics, they're like, you know what, it's disrespect when they're running plays for Cody Zeller. They were running their offense through Cody Zeller when it was a 30.1 game. They're like, that's the ultimate sign of disrespect.
It really is.
Cody Zeller goes and blocks a shot off the glass on the other side.
I remember that. I actually do remember that. Oh my fucking god!
And I'm not gonna say Cody Zeller and Kevin Love are gonna like feast on, you know, Aaron Gordon and my man. We've seen more DeAndre Jordan as the backup center for Jokic than Thomas Bryant, who they traded for in playoffs.
That is very interesting. It's very interesting.
Yeah, I wanted to point that out. I thought about that last night. But no, you think about this. Jimmy Butler and Bam Adebayo are going to be inside the paint. And then they're going to tell Aaron Gordon to just shoot as many threes. And I wonder, are they going to force, I don't think they're going to force, the Nuggets are too good of a three-point shooting team to be left open and force them to beat them by threes. I think they're going to take away the three-point shot and just tell them, drive on us.
Yeah. Yeah, I think they're going to force him to drive. I'm really excited for Bam. Bam's been electric in some of these moments. Like some of his like
He had a
alley-oop
quiet
dunks.
first series, but since then he's been steadily been like 20 and 10 with like 6 assists and like a few blocks and a steal.
And then he gets like 1 or 2 highlight dunks that just like change
energizing,
the game,
like momentum swinging. Like whenever he throws out one of those dunks, you know everyone's like, all right, the ball's in our court, like the pendulum of like
just
momentum has swung in their favor.
He dunks it so fucking hard. He loves dunking it so hard. I love it. It just electrifies the arena.
No, I agree.
I also think playing in Miami is tough.
One of the most fun guys.
Yeah,
but yeah, no, this opens a whole can of worms. Who we're gonna see, you know?
Good finals. Any predictions for the game tonight? Celtics.
Miami closes out. Yeah. I think the Celtics lost it mentally.
Yeah, I don't know if this. Yeah, I think the Celtics make it 3 quarters before they just give up the game. It's like a 25-point game again.
I mean, the Celtics shot themselves in the foot, and the turn is like 5 games this after you traded him, and then you never see him again. And they're not trying small ball. Like, I don't get why Joe Mazzulla hasn't. I know Blake Griffin hasn't been great, but like either try Blake at center, put Jason Tatum at power forward, Jaylen Brown at small forward, run Smart, Brogdon, or White at the other 2 guard spots, or even run Tatum and Brown as your 2 bigs. Like Tatum at center, Brown at power forward, Smart at small forward. You run Brogdon or Smart, at the, and then White at the 1, and you try to counteract them, because that's another thing. The Heat have this ultra small lineup where they'll either run Kevin Love at center or Caleb Martin, and then Jimmy Butler and Duncan Robinson and Kyle Lowry, or Gabe Vincent, Max Strus with Jimmy Butler, and then literally either Caleb Martin or Kevin Love as the center, and no one stands inside. It's literally 5 out.
Yeah, you would think Joe Mazzulla would try to do that. It would be really nice for Joe Mazzulla to try to go small and try to counteract that, like exactly what you're saying. He feels like he's doing the same thing over and over again and expecting the same result.
That's the rule of insanity.
Yep.
And I just think this just goes to show his inexperience as a coach who doesn't know how to make in-game adjustments, high-pressure situations. These are the moments that you make. You throw out the game plan.
I don't think Mazzulla's like even a bad coach. Like I just think he's it's a bad situation. It's hard to lead a group of guys if they don't trust you too, if that is the case. And yeah, he's just doesn't have the experience yet.
Yeah, and I think it'll be interesting what happens tomorrow when we talk and see what goes over, next 24 hours.
I think perfect world, you bring Brad Stevens on to coach and you say, Joe, we're going to make you an assistant coach. Maybe you can earn your job again someday.
2 years later, Brad gets the itch back. He pulls a Greg Popovich and becomes president and coach. So every decision of the franchise is his.
Realistically, that's what the Celtics should do. Because, you do have Brad Stevens, who is a very great basketball
Brad Stevens
coach.
got burned out, though. He was done with coaching.
Yeah.
He might be a better exec.
2 Brad Stevens.
Again, he might be a better exec than coach.
True. We'll see. I don't know.
We will see. Well, that's basically the show today. Nick,
where are you driving to? Always. Where are you headed to?
I'm driving back to Kansas.
Oh, have fun. Kansas.
Yeah, I'm in Ohio right now.
Ooh.
Yeah.
We're in Ohio.
I gotta get back because I work tomorrow morning.
Damn. That's fun.
All right, that'll be today's show. We're gonna head out. If you did enjoy today's show, be a friend, tell a friend, like, comment, subscribe. If you didn't, just forget it ever happened. Sorry about my audio. Did it off my cell phone for the full drive. Again, Nick, thank you for being here. Much appreciated.
Always. It was a pleasure, Cyro. Safe
Likewise.
travels. Have a great day, guys.
Deuces.